The Supremes did not have it all rosy for them from the start. It was a gradual and slow start, but soon enough they became Supreme as their name suggested. The legacy of the Supreme was built originally by the 4 outstanding ladies and friends from the Brewster-Douglass public housing project in Detroit. They are Florence Ballard, Mary Wilson, Diana Ross, and Betty McGlown. So what happened to the Supremes? Hello everyone and welcome to True Celebrity Stories. Today we're going to be talking about the American R&B group called the Supremes. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn the notification bell to be updated when we post new content. Are you ready for this? The beginning. It all started in Detroit in the year 1958, where Florence Ballard met 2 members of the Primettes, a singing group in Detroit during her junior high school days. Due to the performances of Ballard and Paul Williams' girlfriend Betty McGlown, the Prime's manager, Milton Jenkins decided to start a female version of the Prime group called the Primettes. Mary Wilson, Ballard's best friend, was recruited, after which Wilson also recruited her classmate Diana Ross. This was how the whole journey started as being the Primettes. The first performances were hit songs from artists such as Ray Charles and the Drifters at Sock Hops. The Primettes were funded by Jenkins at this time. With much help from Jesse Greer, a well-rounded songwriter, they became famous locally in no time. The Supremes, then known as the Primettes, won the Windsor Detroit International Freedom Festival on July 4, 1960. After this win, all was set for them to make their first record, getting signed into Motown. To get the girls signed into the Motown record label, Ross tried to get an audition with Berry Gordy, a Motown executive, through an old neighbor, Smokey Robinson, a Miracle's lead singer. Gordy, however, believed that the girls were too young to be recording and it was best they continue with their musical careers after they graduated high school. Despite the discouragement from Gordy, the ladies went ahead to release 2 singles titled Tears of Sorrow and Pretty Baby from Lupine Records. However, the singles were barely known. McGlown left the group after this because she was engaged. As a replacement for McGlown, Barbara Martin was added to the quartet group. After constant and persistent effort, Gordy allowed them to contribute hand claps and background vocals to songs of Motown artists like Marvin Gaye and Mary Wells. Fortune smiled on them in January 1961 as Gordy finally agreed to sign the girls to his record label with a condition that they change their name, as at this time the Primes were already signed to Motown as the Temptations. The Primes combined with Otis Williams and the Distance to become the Temptations. Several suggestions were given by Gordy to Ballard on what the new name of the group should be. Such suggestions were the Darlenes, the Sweet Peas, the Melodies, the Royal Tones, and the Duettes. Ballard decided to go with the Supremes. McGlown's replacement, Martin, also left the group in the spring of 1962 to start a family, making the newly named Supreme a group of 3. The rough start. After being signed into the Motown record label and getting the change of name to the Supremes, the ladies went ahead to release 6 singles like I Want a Guy, Buttered Popcorn, and so on between 1961 and 1963. On the downside, none of the 6 singles released made it to the top 40 of the Billboard Hot 100. Due to the disappointments, they became known as the No-Hit Supremes in Motown's Hitsville, USA office. To make up for these setbacks to the record label company, they decided to do any job available. They went back to doing the jobs they did before joining the record label officially, that is providing hand claps and singing backup. It was quite a rough start for them. The breakthrough. The trio worked hand in hand with the songwriting and producer team Brian, Eddie Holland, and Lamont Dozier, popularly known as Holland Dozier Holland. In 1963, after long effort, they finally hit the top 40 with their song titled When the Love Light Starts Shining Through His Eyes. After this success, the Supreme, together with Holland Dozier Holland, made 5 #1 pop hits between 1964 and 1965 in succession, namely Where Did Our Love Go?, Baby Love, which is nominated for Grammy Awards, Come See About Me, which was also nominated for Grammy Awards, Stop in the Name of Love, and Back in My Arms Again. These hits are spread across the top 10 different albums. However, the albums titled Bit of Liverpool, The Supremes Sing Country, Western and Pop, and We Remember Sam Cooke showed that the ladies were gifted beyond just pop soul. Changes. Many changes were made between 1966 and 1967 in regards to the name of the group and independent projects of some members. Within these years, the Supremes released albums titled I Hear a Symphony, The Supremes A Go Go, You Can't Hurry Love, You Keep Me Hanging On, Love Is Here and Now You're Gone, and The Happening. Each of these albums, in collaboration with Holland Dozier Holland, made the top 10, with the Supremes' A Go-Go being the first album by an all-female group hitting #1 on the US Billboard 200 on October 22nd. In 1967, Berry Gordy started to take much likeness into Diana Ross. Earlier that year, he started a solo career for Diana Ross outside the Supremes. This decision presented the group no longer as the Supremes, but as the Supremes with Diana Ross. Later, the name changed to Diana Ross and the Supremes. Gordy also replaced Ballard, one of the founding members of the Supremes, with Cindy Birdsong. Birdsong was previously in the Bluebells. While the group was named Diana Ross and the Supremes, the group retained its popularity and released another top 10 albums with a collaboration with the Temptations, which reached the top with TCB, a soundtrack to a television station of the which happens to have the same name. They also made 6 top 10 hits, in addition to the previous, which includes Reflections, Love Child, and Someday We'll Be Together. Love Child and Someday We'll Be Together topped the chart. Love Child was a spectacular narrative and was the first big hit produced and written by the Clan. Someday We'll Be Together was the farewell song released from Ross's studio. At the last performance of the Supremes with Diana Ross, Jean Tyrell was introduced as a new member of the Supremes. After this, Ross exited the Supremes. They remained as Diana Ross and the Supremes from late 1967 to mid-January 1970. The group made a rebound with Up the Ladder Roof, which made the top 10 hit, and Everybody's Got the Right to Love, which made the top 40 entry. Those two were singles produced by Frank Wilson and the first of 7 Supreme studio LPs, which featured the new lineup that is Mary Wilson, the only founding member left in the group, Cindy Birdsong, and Tyrell. Road to the End. In 1972, numerous songs released by the Supremes entered the top 40 entries. Stone Love was at the peak of them all at hitting the top 10, and the last single of the Supremes to peak at the top 10. After the 1972 LP Flow Joy, Birdsong left the group and was replaced by Linda Lawrence temporarily. Linda Lawrence backup for Stevie Wonder. In 1973, Tyrell also left the group. A new member joined the group after this, named Sherry Payne, a sister of Freda Payne. Sherry, Wilson, and returning Birdsong lasted until 1976, with only one album released as the Supremes. Birdsong left again in 1976 and was replaced by Suzette Green, who joined for the 1976 albums High Energy and Mary and Sherry and Suzette. However, Birdsong was around for the recording of Sherry and Suzette. The single with the biggest hit reaching the top 40 in these two LPs was that which was a reunion with Brian and Eddie Holland titled I'm Gonna Let My Heart Do the Walking. A fantastic collaboration was made between Mary, Sherry, and Suzette with Hollands and Richard Davis titled Come Into My Life. Other songs were also released which had good commercial potential, but the albums were not well promoted. The Supremes performed their final and farewell concert at Drury Lane Theatre in London on June 12, 1977. After this, Wilson started a solo career while Sherry and Suzette tried to have Joyce Vincent join them as a new member of the trio. Motown, however, had a different opinion as they felt disbanding the group was best with no original member present. Later years. In the late 1970s, Sherry Payne and Mary Wilson released their first debuts under Motown Records. Payne and Suzette Green also recorded a duo in 1979 as album partners under Motown. There have been subsequent Supremes reunions, but they have been a one-off or partial reunion. In 1983, Diana Ross, Mary Wilson, and Cindy Birdsong performed Someday We'll Be Together on a television special, Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever. Several performances have been made since 1986 under the name Former Ladies of the Supremes, with lineups starting with Jean Tyrell, Payne, and Linda Lawrence. A team made up of Ross, Lawrence, and Payne, a combination which has never occurred, went on a tour in the US but was cut short even before it got halfway. Florence Ballard released several solo singles on the ABC in 1968. She died from cardiac arrest in 1976. Betty McGlown died in 2008 from diabetes. Barbara Martin also died in 2020. Mary Wilson, the last to leave the Supremes, continued to record as a solo artist. Wilson also released a book titled Dream Girl, My Life as a Supreme, which hit the New York Times bestseller hit. Wilson dies from heart disease on February 8, 2021 at the age of 76. Which of the songs by the Supremes is your favorite? Let me know in the comments section down below. With this, we end the video, but before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the notification bell to keep getting updates from us. See you in the next video.